Did you know that behind Wonder Woman, there's not one, but two Wonder Women? Today at Heroescope, we're diving straight into all of the real-life Wonder Women who shaped the comic book world, redefined storytelling, and changed superhero history forever. Most people know that William Moulton Marston was the man who created Wonder Woman back in 1941. However, what isn't so well known is the fact that not one, but two women were the inspiration behind the legendary Amazonian princess. The first was his wife, Elizabeth Holloway Marston, and the second was their lifelong partner, Olive Byrne. It was actually Elizabeth who insisted that the new hero should be a woman, and her ideas about feminism, strength, and compassion were baked right into Wonder Woman's DNA. Without her, Wonder Woman might have been just another male superhero punching villains. Elizabeth made sure Diana Prince was so much more, a true symbol of empowerment. She didn't just create the idea of Wonder Woman. She was a fierce advocate for using comics as a tool for teaching empathy, independence, and social change. Even Wonder Woman's lasso of truth ties back to Elizabeth's belief in honesty and understanding over brute strength. Without their philosophical influence, the superhero genre might have leaned even harder into raw violence and domination instead of the deeper, more hopeful themes that Wonder Woman introduced. On the other hand, it was Olive Byrne that Diana owes some of her visual design to. Just like that, two women who had insane influence and importance in the creation of perhaps the most legendary female superheroes of all time were almost completely forgotten. Speaking of early pioneers who never got their proper spotlight, Ruth Atkinson deserves a major shoutout. While most of the 1940s comic book scene was all about men creating male heroes like Superman or Batman, Ruth was already building entire worlds centered around women. She co-created Millie the Model at Timely Comics, which became a massive hit, but she also helped establish the importance of male protagonists and comics in general. She worked for Fiction House and Timely Comics, which was in a way the precursor to Marvel, and she helped steer early comics towards being more inclusive. Her legacy truly set the stage for epic female characters like Captain Marvel or Spider-Gwen decades later. Ruth's work in the comic culture and comic world really cemented that women could not only exist in the comic book world, but thrive both creatively and commercially. She really showed that comics could just be about humor, romance, adventure, and a whole lot more, and that they really didn't have to fit into any mold. While Ruth was opening doors at Marvel and Timely, another woman was breaking even bigger barriers: Jackie Ormes. She wasn't just the first African-American woman cartoonist in the US. She was well and truly one of the smartest and boldest voices in all of comics. Through her characters like Torchy Brown and Patty Joan Ginger, Jackie handled racism, gender inequality, and real-life social issues that were present, all with razor-sharp wit and undeniable style. Jackie's characters weren't just fantastical heroes in capes going around their fantasy worlds. They were actually reflections of real, complicated lives that the mainstream heroes were sometimes too afraid to touch at the time. Her career proved that comics could be a platform for real political and social change, which practically paved the way for many very important comic book stories down the line, be it the entirety of X-Men or someone like Miles Morales trying to fit into Spider-Man's boots. And while artists like Jackie were changing who heroes could be, behind the scenes of Marvel, Marie Severin was changing how they looked. Nicknamed the conscience of Marvel, Marie worked as a colorist and later an artist, helping to create the entire visual language of early Marvel comics. She had a hand in defining the iconic looks of Doctor Strange, the Hulk, and so many more. Her instinct for color wasn't just about making things look cool. It was about creating mood, emotion, and identity for characters. Without Marie, the vibrant, emotional universe of Marvel wouldn't exist the way it does today. Marie Severin's talents didn't stop at coloring either. She went on to become one of Marvel's most versatile artists, contributing to everything from superhero titles to humor comics like Not Brand Ek. Without her presence in the comic book world, many women artists might have faced even more barriers when entering the world of superhero comics. This idea of making heroes more relatable, more human, connects perfectly to what Dorothy Woolfolk was doing at DC Comics. Dorothy was one of DC's first female editors, and she helped come up with something that seems so basic now but was completely revolutionary back then, giving Superman a weakness. She was one of the people who introduced the concept of kryptonite, but Dorothy Woolfolk's editorial instincts went far beyond just kryptonite. She was a major advocate for deeper emotional storytelling in superhero comics, and she really pushed writers and artists to explore the themes of fear, doubt, love, and loss, which are all now essential to the genre. She had a major part in making superheroes complicated characters with relatable struggles that audiences could connect to. While women like Dorothy were innovating inside the big companies, others were fighting to create entirely new spaces for themselves. Trina Robbins wasn't content with waiting for the industry to catch up, so she made her own platform. In the 1970s, she helped create the first all-female comic anthology, It Ain't Me Babe, and then co-founded Women's Comics. Trina pushed back against the overwhelming male dominance of the industry, giving a voice to women creators and paving the way for indie comics movements everywhere. Other than just creating comics, Trina Robbins also became one of the earliest historians who documented how much women actually contributed to the genre. She preserved the history of female comic artists at a time when almost nobody else was even thinking about it. Thanks to her tireless work, generations of readers and creators know that women have always been a vital part of comics history. Fast forward to today, and that spirit of innovation and inclusion is being carried on by Sana Amanat. As an editor at Marvel, she helped create Kamala Khan, the first Muslim American superhero to headline her own series. Miss Marvel wasn't just a critical hit. It proved that superhero fans were ready and excited for heroes who look like the real world. Without Sana, today's superhero landscape would be a lot less colorful and a lot less interesting. And Sana Amanat didn't stop at just creating one character. She pushed Marvel toward a future where new perspectives and diverse storytelling are literally the foundation. Her leadership helped Marvel launch new initiatives around representation, and she has become one of the most influential voices in modern comics and superhero media. Thanks to Sana, a new generation of readers can finally see themselves reflected in the heroes they admire. From the earliest days of comics to the modern era of blockbuster movies and streaming shows, women have been there all along, shaping the superhero genre in ways most people never even realized. And they didn't just break into the boys' club, they rewrote the rules. They proved that heroes could be vulnerable, that stories could be diverse, and that the world of comics could and should belong to everyone. Next time you crack open a comic book, binge a superhero movie, or cheer for your favorite hero flying across the screen, remember, you're standing on the shoulders of these real-life Wonder Women. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Heroescope. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.